This is Psalms 37 and 7. Rest in the Lord Yahweh and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. I'd like to start off by saying, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Halon La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double homage to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who do well, and the like-minded brothers. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwat that's listening in. Yahweh Rattazah, Lord willing, that the lesson is edifying. It's the brother Shabab Amwan back at you with another lesson. All right. And Shabbat Shalom. And going into the title, all right, Grapho, all right, the ultimate spying tool. It all leads back to the RFID. All right, so let's bring out this verse again, 37 and 7 in Psalms. Rest in the Lord Yahweh and wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. All right. And what I want to share real quick, all right, is a video I ran into just now on Instagram, all right, and it instantly made me think about, all right, this word grapho, and where do we get this word grapho from? All right, when you go to Revelations, all right, Revelations 13 and 16, when you go into that word M-A-R-K, all right, we know that that word has three different root words, okay? And the first root word it goes to is the charagma, all right, which is what? You know, sharpened to a point, all right? You basically, you know, let's just grab it right here since I'm here, all right? It goes into uh, going into this RFID, all right? Charagma goes into a stamp imprinted, all right, on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the anti-Hamashiach, all right, is imprinted, all right. It says thing carved, sculpture, graven work, okay, and that's exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be a etching, a scratch on the surface, basically going into your skin, okay. It's going to be a thing carved of an idolatrous image, all right, which is, that image is going to be a digital image, all right. That's going to be your digital messiah in these last days, all right, because you know we live in the fourth industrial revolution of things, so everything is the internet of things, all right, and they're coming out with a new world order. So a new world order requires a new, you know, a new God, a new image, all right, and they're going to feed you this digital messiah, all right, which is this RFID that's going to be in your right hand or your forehead, right? So charagma goes into karax, okay, and again, karax goes into sharpened to a point, all right, through the idea of scratching on the surface, okay, a pale or a stake or a palisade, all right, which that's what's going to be used, all right. It's going to be a stake, all right, that's in the shape of a cross, which is a needle, basically, that's going to be, you know, be able to pierce through your skin, okay. And this is how they're going to be able to implement this thing, all right. So the root word of karax goes into grapho, okay. Now, before I break it down in Grapho, let me play this video, all right? And this video is what instantly made me think of Grapho, all right? Especially that the woman is speaking about the graph, all right? So it made me think literally about Grapho, and what she's about to tell you, all right, is the ultimate spying tool, all right, through this internet, what they've been doing to you this whole entire time, all right? And this is how all these things are going to link back to this RFID, okay? So let's grab this real quick.
You're not making your pattern so obvious, it's harder to be manipulated. But now it's all data driven. When you log into these social media companies and you like somebody's picture, you're creating what they call a graph. They call it a graph network in the technology. What that does is maps you to who's important to you, who matters to you, who's relevant to you, what you like, what you don't like. And then with platforms like Meta, if you link certain third-party apps that give their data to Meta, they can get a much bigger picture about you. So there's a very popular app for women to track their menstrual cycles called Flow, and they give all their data to Facebook.
This is why you can't be just dropping yourself in all these different types of platforms. You know what I'm saying? For a long time, I've been already saying that we should all be getting off of Facebook and Instagram, because that shit ain't doing nothing but tracking us, tracking what our children look like. You damn sure ain't supposed to be posting pictures of yourself, posting pictures of your kids, because Esau uses that, to be able to grab all this data of you. But that's what it's really been designed for. It's been designed for them to be able to receive data of how you move in your everyday life. You see, and these people, they love their social media so much that they'll post everything on there, man. They'll post taking a shit 10 minutes ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, just cooked, just drove to this place, drove to that place. See, like, that shit is just ridiculous that you have to constantly justify yourself on a social media platform on a daily basis. All right, that already shows that you have a demon upon you. Okay, but
only do I know
let me play this again. All right, let me just put the lighting on it better too. All right, so
when you log into these social media companies and you like somebody's picture, you're creating what they call a graph. They call it a graph network.
Real quick, it says the ultimate spying tool, weaponized AI. How your data is the target. Why corporations such as Meta, Amazon, Google are collecting your data. Okay. Then on the bottom it says the U.S. Billions for intelligence. The U.S. government is heavily funding AI for intelligence and surveillance, with reports of nearly $1 billion in AI surveillance deals with firms like Palantir since January 2025. Big tech firms are investing massive sums, with companies like OpenAI making $1 trillion in deals in 2025 alone, much of which builds surveillance capacity. China's AI investment is massive and growing. All right, and we always tell you, man, if you want to know what the future of America is going to be, all right, all you gotta do is look at what China's doing, because they are desired to be just like America, but they're ahead of America. They're more advanced. All right, and it's all a race with them to see who can get to these technologies quicker and better. All right. So it says China's AI investment is massive and growing, with total spending project to hit around 98 to 125 billion in 2025, driven by significant government funds like an 8.2 billion national fund for early stage AI. Major tech giants, Alibaba, all right, Tencent, increasing investments, all right, and corporated R&D, focusing heavily on data centers, infrastructures, and domestic CHIP development. See, and domestic CHIP development to achieve self-sufficiency against the U.S. restrictions and sanctions. China's strategy heavily invests in data centers and energy infrastructure, distinct from the U.S. focus on hardware. Okay, so now let's play this thing back.
Patterns so obvious it's harder to be manipulated, but now it's all data driven. When you log into these social media companies and you like somebody's picture, you're creating what they call a graph. They call it a graph network in the technology. What that does is maps you to who's important to you, who matters to you, who's relevant to you, what you like, what you don't like. And then with platforms like Meta, if you link certain third-party apps that give their data to Meta, they can get a much bigger picture about you. So there's a very popular app for women to track their menstrual cycles called Flow, and they give all their data to Facebook. So now, not only do I know that you like these people's pictures, this who you interact with more. But now I can see what you do during different phases of your cycle. When you on your cycle, right before your cycle, or you go look at your ex's page right before, and I know it's your ex because you done told me your relationship status and tagged them in it. So now all of that data is automated. What websites you go visit, and then you link up your Apple Watch and your health app, and they know when you sleep and know when you wake. Now they can check that to all your other behaviors. And then you link that to your journal app where you telling them how you feel every day. And now they see it even more. And then you log in with your Google or with your Meta to all these other websites that are now automatically collecting all that data about you and creating a graph about you that understands you better than you do. So much so that Amazon has patented algorithms that can predict if you're going to buy an item or not. And so now we go back to Palantir, the all-seeing eye, which was originally created as a private company to kind of help with that information targeting process. They wanted to make it easier so you don't have to go on the ground, undercover and go talk to people to figure stuff out. You just figure it out with data. And they're huge. And I think they just won like another $180 million contract either yesterday or today. And so what they're doing constantly is they're basically scraping or making copies of the whole internet. They're making copies of all these documents. They're making it so that all these intelligence officers can upload their reports, and they be spying on people. And this is what this meant. They go have a diplomatic meeting and they write in their notes. Like all that stuff goes in there and creates an even more detailed graph about you. And the purpose of that is so that the military will say is to identify threats or to improve operational efficiency. What that means is, are you someone we need to be worried about? And if so, we already know everything about you to know how to change what you feel.
That shit heavy what she was talking about, right? So I want to go to a part where she was saying,
you're not making your pattern so obvious. It's ex's page right before, and I know it's your ex because you done told me your relationship status and tagged them in it. So now all of that data is automated. What websites you go visit, and then you link up your Apple Watch and your health app, and they know when you sleep and know when you wake. Now they can check that to all your other behaviors. And then you link that to your journal app where you telling them how you feel every day. And now they see it even more. And then you log in with your Google or with your Meta to all these other websites that are now automatically collecting all that data.
See, what she was saying was heavy about linking this and linking that. That's that gradualism that they do. They're gradually, making you think that these things are normal, to be able to link to this platform, to link to that platform, because eventually they're going to link you right to that RFID. You see, so the word linking, all right. As a matter of fact, let's just grab that real quick. Let's grab what that word link means. All right, to link something. Well, we know what it means. All right, you link something up, right? I just want to see what it comes up to. And yeah, see, link, right? Link, the definition to link, it says a relationship between two things or situations, especially where one thing affects the other. All right. And not affects as in affects, it affects with an A. Okay. So similar words goes into a connection, relationship, relatedness, association, linkage, tie up. All right. See, this is what they want. They want you to have a relationship with AI. They want you to have connection, okay, with their B system, with this AI that they have. All right. They want you to be a part of their association, okay, their relatedness. You see, they want you to relate to their system. See, that's why if you're not relatable to them and you're contrary to what they're trying to push out, they're going to be able to detect it. See, they're going to be able to, wean you out of the way. Okay. That's how they're going to be able to exclude those out of society. That's why they have the social credit score system. That's why they're going to have this universal basic income that they just started out there. And the first place to get it is the Marshall Islands. All right. They just literally were the first ones to have this universal basic income, which they've been speaking about this for a while. But you see, all these different things are tactics for them to link you to this RFID. Okay, it says another definition says a ring or a loop in a chain. Okay, which we know that's a link, right? All right, and if you want to get spiritual with it, all right, that's what they want you to do. They want you to be in the loop over and over, or over and over and over again. Okay, it also says similar words: a loop, ring, connection, connective, connector, joint. You see, that's what they want you to do. They want you to be joined together with their system. Okay, it says make form, verb. It says make form or suggest a connection with or between. Okay, same thing that was being set up there. All right, let's see what this word in the word etymology comes up as. Etymology online. The word link, right? The word link and the word etymology goes into one of a series of rings or hoop or loops which form a chain, all right, section of a cord, all right, which at the end of the day they have a chain that they're forming, all right, and it's this B system, right, this NWO, all right, that's their chain that they're forming, right. It says link in plural, chain, a link, joint of the body. All right, articulation, a joint of the body, a link or ring. All right, to bend, turn, lead. Okay, so to turn and lead, basically, they're going to be able to link you up to their society, right? And then they're able to lead you in the direction that they want you to be in. You see, because that's what the whole point about hacking is. That's what they want to, merge man with computer, man with, transhumanism. Because if they can hack a computer, then they can hack you to do whatever they feel like it. You see, they want to be able to tap into your thoughts and basically alter your thoughts the same way they're altering your DNA with all these different jabbas that they see. That now they want to be able to alternate your mindset, alternate your thoughts, okay, and fashion them to like. See, this devil, man, it goes deep, man. He trying to play the role of the Lord, right? And he's trying to fashion everything to his liking, all right? Just like the scriptures say that the Lord is the one that's the potter with the clay, right? He's got the clay. Let's grab that real quick. This is Ecclesiasticus 33. Okay, check this out. And 13, it says, as the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure, so man is in the hand of him that made him to render to them as liketh him best. You see? So that's what this devil wants to do. He wants to be as the clay's in the potter's hand, he wants to be the potter, right? With the clay in his hand, all right, through this technology to be able to fashion it at his pleasure, so that man is in the hand of him that made him, basically, because they even trying to create life. They trying to create man, all right, to render to them as liketh him best. So now he's able to manipulate, all right, to the best of his ability, to his liking, to his fashion. You see, that's how wicked this devil is, that he's trying to play the role of the Lord, man. All right. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 4, you see, that because he that sitteth as God in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. You see, how's he going to sit in your temple? You are the temple of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, as the scriptures say. So how's he going to sit in the temple with this RFID, with this technology, and being able to tap into your thoughts and to be able to lead, all right, link. Remember the word link, went into a couple different words in the Webster dictionary, but in the word etymology, it says to lead, to bend. It says, let me grab it again. It says to bend. It says to bend, turn, lead. You see? So he's able to, you know, turn you to how he feels it, right? How he wants. And then he's able to lead you to do whatever he wants you to do by tapping into your thoughts, man. Okay? So let's go back to that video, right? And then let's get this word, grapho. Man, I knew it would do some dumb shit and throw me off. Get back to it real quick.
This is harder to be manipulated. And they know when you're sleeping,
listen to what she's
making your pattern so obvious, it's harder to be manipulated. But now,
see, that's the key word, manipulated. They want you to be manipulated, to manipulate someone. When you log into, all right, let's go into that word. Word etymology online, manipulate. Manipulate goes into,
the word manipulate comes
to handle skillfully by hand. Okay, a back formation from manipulation, to manage by mental influence. You see, so he wants to be able to mentally, all right, manage your brain, all right, and influence you in his manner. You see, going back to this Genesis project, this Genesis mission, they said that they want to make man in our image. See, literally taking the precepts from Genesis when the Elohim created man in their image, right? We were all created in their image. See, he wants to rewrite history and rewrite these things and create man in his image according to his society. You see, according to his image. So manipulating, right? He wants to manage by mental influence. He wants to manage you, all right, through your mental, all right, tapping into your thoughts and influence you to maneuver in his patterns, in his ways. You see, this devil's wicked as hell, man. Especially for one's own purposes. Okay. See, YAHAWAH'S has his own purposes of how he created us, but he wants to rewrite that. He wants to do it to his fashion, all right, as he likes them best. Okay, let's see what the word manipulate, definition, manipulate. All right, it says handle or control a tool, mechanism, etc. Okay, typically in a skillful manner. And this devil's what? He's a cunning hunter. So that's his skillful manner. All right, that he's able to hunt you down, right? And then once he has hunt you down, okay, just like it goes spiritual, boy. It's like an animal. What does this devil do in reality, man? This devil in real life, he loves to grab animals, right? And then he likes to actually put that tag on them. He likes to put that C-hip on them to be able to track their every move. So we are looked upon as this devil as cattle, man. We're looked upon as this devil. We're looked at this devil upon. We're looked at as animals to this devil. All right. So he wants to do the same thing. He wants to use his tools, his devices, right, and in a skillful manner. All right, by hunting you down. And once he hunts you down, and he has trapped you and caught you in his neck, right? I mean, in his net, right? What is he going to be able to do? He's going to be able to handle you or control you. You see, that's what it goes into that precept in Habakkuk 1:15. You see, let's grab that real quick. 1:15. All right, and Habakkuk, it says, they take up all of them with the angle. Okay, they catch them in their net and gather them in their drag, therefore they rejoice and are glad. You see, so it says therefore they sacrifice onto their net and burn incense onto their drag, because by them Their portion is fat and their meat is plenteous. Shall they therefore empty their net and not spare continually to slay the nations? All right. So what they really ultimately want to do is want to be like a fisher. They're hunting for the fish. They put in baits all over their different types of hooks that they have, right? And with their angle, all right, because when you fish, you're an angler, all right. So now you have special ways of maneuvering your fishing line to be able to attract people, to attract the fish, which are the people here in this metaphoric saying, right? So they're able to track you with their different type of baits, all right, and this is how they get you into their drag, okay. And once they get you into their drag, okay, and they catch you on that hook, now they're able to handle you, right, and manipulate you in the way that they want you to. Just like when you're really fishing, that's how you tire out a fish. Once you put the line on his ass, right, now you're reeling him in, and as you're reeling him in, the fish is trying to struggle to fight and go his way, but you tire him out by handling him and controlling him in the manner you want to eventually bring him into your net. You see? Let's grab this. This is Psalms 10 and 9. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He does catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. And how does he draw him into the net? He croucheth and he humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. You see? He has said in his heart, Yahweh has forgotten. He hideth his face. He will never see it. You see? And because the Lord, when we sin against the Lord hides his face away from us. You see? So in his mind, it's like, all right, these niggas is sinning, so the Lord has forgotten about them. The Lord is hiding his face from them. He's not dealing with them. He will never see it. So we will never see it coming, right? When we're not in spiritually tuned with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. You see? So let's go back, all right, to that word manipulate, all right? To handle or control, typically in a skillful manner with a tool or mechanism, okay? And this is how they're going to be able to manipulate you, man, through this RFID, okay? They're going to be able to handle you and control you, okay? It says another part of, actually, let me grab the similar words. It says to operate, handle, work, control, use, employ, utilize, all right? Now, the second definition says to control or influence a person or situation cleverly, unfairly, okay, unscrupulously. I believe that's how you say that, unscrupulously. Let me make sure. It's not giving me the pronouncing. Oh, there you go. Unscrupulously, right? So unscrupulously goes into actually, let's grab that from the word etymology. This is right here. Unscrupulous means to having no scruples. That ain't really saying much. Oh, okay. It says scrupulous, all right, by fine distinctions, characterized by fine distinctions of doubt. You see, listen, remember, he trying to fashion them to the best of his liking, all right? So he trying to characterize, you know, by his distinctions of doubt, because this devil's about doubt, all right? See, we have faith, so doubt is not in our mindset. But see, everything that this devil does when it comes to faith, he's always doubted it. So right, he wants to characterize you in his way, man. Okay. It says indirectly from Latin scrupulous, careful, exact. Okay. Yeah, he has, you know, created a diligent search, carefully and exact to how he wants you, all right, fashioned. Okay. He has made an exact and careful diligent search on you, Jakes, to be able to find a way to how to manipulate you. You see, this is how they're able to put these different types of baits, and the baits that they use when they put it on their angle, right, on their fishing hooks, That's why you always bite for them, because he has made that diligent search, right? It says, careful to follow the dictates of conscience, hence in non-moral matters. Woo! You see? So we know that this devil's not about morals, man. He's not about the morals of Yahawah. He's an unmorally demon. Everything he does, all right, is filthy. It's unmoral to Yahawah. So he's able to dictate you by the conscience, by your conscience, which is your mind. You see, he wants to be able to dictate your mind, all right, as a dictator would do when he when he's high in dictatorship, right? He's able to make his country, all right, do what he pleases him to do, what pleases him to do. You see, so it's the same thing he's trying to do with us, right? It says, inclined to be scrupulous, all right, precise, rigorous, all right, which that's the point already, right? Now let me see just the regular. Damn, I lost it on that. It's all right though. There's a reason why the Lord didn't want me to go back to it, right? To stick to the topic, right? So going back, right? Let's go back to that video. I knew it was gonna do that. Fucker. Always does that shit. So going back to the video, all right, everything she was saying was about linking and link this and link that. We just looked up the word link, all right. It's all to control, all right, and basically, have you going the way they want you to.
What they call
right?
a graph. They call it a graph network in the technology. With that ex's page right before, and I know it's your ex because you done told me your relationship status and tagged him in it. So now all of that data is automated. What websites you go visit, and then you link up your Apple Watch and your health app, and they know when you sleep and know when you wake. Yeah. Now they can check that to all your other behaviors. And then you link that to your...
See, and then you link this to that, and you link that to this, and and that's how they're able to detect your behaviors, because everything you keep linking to, all right, is showing the process and the pattern that you have. You see, that's what these social medias was created for, was just to get your data on how you maneuver on your everyday life. That's that diligent search that he does, okay? And that's why they always have something else, something new, a new device for you to link to. So eventually that new device is going to be that RFID, you see, and they're going to link you to that. See, all these different systems they've created and all that is just to gradually have you in your mind linking to something, linking to this, linking to that. So when that time comes for that RFID to be made mandatory, it's just another technology you're linking to. You see?
Your journal app where you telling them how you feel every day. And now they see it.
And see, now this is going to lead me to the point of the lesson. Grapho. See, she just mentioned you go link here, you link there, and they're getting all your data, and then you link to your journal, and then you tell them how you feel. See, when the time comes that they link you to this RFID, that's what it goes into Grapho. Grapho says things not to be forgotten. You see, once they got you linked, they don't have to do half of the shit they're doing with retrieving your data now, because your data is going to be all in one spot, you see, and it's going to go directly, all right, to the database, which will be, the the word I always use, the main domain, okay? So it's just going to record you instantly. Your thought, whatever you just thought, whatever you just did, is going to record it instantly. Instead of trying to go into your, into a social media and retrieve your data of how your pattern is, the pattern is going to be every 2 seconds being detected by this technology, and it's going to record everything you got, things not to be forgotten. And this devil doesn't want you. He doesn't want to forget anything. He doesn't want to let nothing slide that you do on your daily basis, all right, without being recorded, All right. And a good movie, I keep saying it over and over to watch, is Chappie. That movie Chappie's fire. All right. To the point where he can even, if you're about to die, because they're going to be able to control life and death with that, while having the MOTB in you, because they could just shut you off whenever they want you to. But before they shut you off, they're going to record all that data they done took from your ass, and they're going to be able to put it onto a USB and download it into a machine. You see, making it easier and easier. That's how, that will be the way for them to basically depopulate the whole entire human race of Israelites, by just constantly linking them up to the RFID, take all the data they got from them, you know, through how they think, how they, you know, how they move and their patterns every single day, okay? And then off his ass, unalive his ass, right? And then just, they already have all that data saved, and now they can put it into a technology robot. You see, now they can put it into a robot, because that's what one of his goals are. He wants to be able to have nothing but robots here in humanity. All right. He wants to basically he wants to have the rise of machines, and then just keep his total lineage, all right, as the only human race, basically. Okay. See, this devil, man, it goes deep when you really think into how this damn devil thinks. And that's why the Lord said that this word is a two-edged sword, because this is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of this devil. See, that's why he hates us, man. That's why he wants to get us, he wants to get rid of us, because we're able to tap into this nigga's fucking thoughts before he even comes out with his own thoughts. We already know how he's thinking with it. You see, we know what the hell this devil's up to with his wicked ass devices, man. You see? So
log in with your Google or with your Meta to all these.
From police, they're looking for a missing dad.
The girl only had a drawing
What
of
the
her father.
fuck? Yeah, that ain't nothing but Satan trying to kick me. That ain't nothing but this nigga.
But now it's all data driven.
Let's just hear it from the beginning
When you
again.
log into these social media companies and you like somebody's picture, you're creating what they call a graph. They call it a graph network in the technology. What that does is maps you to who's important to you, who matters to you, who's relevant to you, what you like, what you don't like. And then with platforms like Meta, if you link certain third-party apps that give their data to Meta, they can get a much bigger picture about you. So there's a very popular app for women to track their menstrual cycles called Flow. And they give all their data to Facebook. So now, not only do I know that you like these people's pictures, this who you interact with more, but now I can see what you do during different phases of your cycle. When you on your cycle, right before your cycle, or you go look at your ex's page right before, and I know it's your ex because you done told me your relationship status and tagged them in it. So now all of that data is automated. What websites you go visit, and then you link up your Apple Watch and your health app, and they know when you sleep and know when you wake. Now they can check that to all your other behaviors. And then you link that to your journal app where you telling them how you feel every day. And now they see it even more. And then you log in with your Google or with your Meta to all these other websites that are now automatically collecting all that data about you and creating a graph about you that understands you better than you do. So much so that Amazon has patented algorithms that can predict if you're gonna buy an item or not. And so now we go back to Palantir, the all-seeing eye, which was originally created as a private company to kind of help with that information targeting process. They wanted to make it easier so you don't have to go on the ground, undercover and go talk to people to figure stuff out. You just figure it out.
See, that's exactly what I was just saying through Spirit. You see, to the point where they don't have to go and retrieve all this extra data anymore, because once they get that RFID in your body, man, that shit is just gonna automatically record. That's what it goes back to that word grapho. And the fact that she keeps using the word graph is all spiritual, all right?
And they're huge. And I think they just won like another $180 million contract either yesterday or today. And so what they're doing constantly is they're basically scraping or making copies of the whole internet. They're making copies of all these documents. They're making it so that all these intelligence officers can upload their reports, and they're, they be spying on people. And this is what this meant. They go have a diplomatic meeting and they write in their notes. Like, all that stuff goes in there and creates an even more detailed graph about you. And the purpose of that is so that the military will say is to identify threats or to improve operational efficiency. What that means is, are you someone we need to be worried about?
Yeah, that shit's never been about threats and none of that. They just want to see who's contrary. Who, again, it's like a virus in a computer, right? Once they see that there's a virus, they have to press that alter, backspace, and delete that shit. So if you're against this society, which they'll be able to track you that much easier, the moment you're against something that they're trying to fashion you in that in their likeness, right? As soon as you're contrary to it, it's gonna look as if you're a dud. You're a virus in their computer. You're a virus in their system. So we got to delete you out the way. We got to take you out the way. You see?
So we already know everything about you to know how to change what you feel.
Wild. So let's go to this word grapho, and then I close it out. All right. So this word grapho, all right, which we already broke it down earlier in the video, right? I just didn't read the actual breakdowns to it. Now I'm gonna read it because now you understand what I was trying to bring out of it through this video. All right. So Revelations 13-16, all right, the last root word after karax goes into grapho. Okay. Slovakia. So it goes into charagma, karax, and then grapho. All right. And grapho says to write with the reference to the form of letters. All right. That's the first definition. To delineate or form letters on a tablet, parchment, paper, or other material. All right. And what they're really going to form these letters in, all right, is to their system. Okay. That's what they're really trying to get it all into, is their system. It says to write with the reference to the contents of the writing, to express in written characters. Okay. To commit in writing things not to be forgotten. Write down, record. See, that's the main one right there. You see, it's all about recording your data, getting your body to take this MOTB, right? And then once they got that shit in your body, that's it. It's forever. They can record every single thing that's in your body. That's why it's all going to be connected to your medical history. It's going to be connected to you as a GPS, and they're going to know your location, and they'll tell you as a convenience that you can never be kidnapped, or your children can never be kidnapped. You see, it's going to tap into every single one of your thoughts. Whatever you think at that moment, boom, that data goes to their system. Oh, you thought something that's not according to this society, or a warning. You see? There is able to tell you that this nigga going off. He's not thinking according to this society. You see? Which ultimately, man, see, it ain't even gonna get that far, because the Lord gonna stop his enterprise, as the scripture said. Let me grab that real quick. All right. The Lord not gonna allow him to get that far. But see, this is this devil's mentality, man. You see, this is his intents. Okay, this is Job. All right. It's like it. This is come on, bro. You do too much on this shit. This is Job 5:12, and it says, he disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Okay. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. All right. So eventually, all right, the Lord gonna disappoint him, all right, and his devices. Okay. He gonna disappoint him, because he's not gonna allow him to perform their enterprise. You see, he gonna only allow, 1/3, all right, of what's remaining, all right, because a lot of people gonna die, and 2/3 of our people a lot of them gonna die in Jacob's trouble, all right. But there's gonna be a piece, right, that's gonna be, you know, remaining. It's gonna be a little bit that's gonna be remaining that they're gonna be able to use this technology on. Okay, if Yah's hasn't died, basically, if Yah's hasn't died in Jacob's trouble, all right, the Lord is lining your ass up for that microchip. It's that simple, all right. And then eventually you're gonna take a missile. You see, so whoever doesn't die off in Jacob's trouble, all right, the Lord is preserving them, all right. If he's not of the elect, all right, is for them to line up for this MOTB, okay. So it says he disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. Okay, let's grab this. This is Proverbs. Let me do it like this instead, and it should all come up. All right, this is Psalms 33:10. It says, the Lord Yahweh bringeth the counsel of the heathen to naught. He maketh the devices of the people of none effect. Okay, so at the end of the day, it's going to be a few that, you know, he going to end up being able to bring this technology on. All right, but at the end of the day, he going to bring his devices to naught. All right. This is Psalms 10:2. The wicked in his pride does persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. Okay. And that's why he going to cause all, both small, great, rich, and poor, free and bond, to receive this MARK, man. Even his own people, even his wicked ass. All right. Because he wants to be able to tap into you. You see, so he got to be connected to the system somehow, some way. All right, to be able to feel these things. He basically, man, when you go deep into it, he want to take all your energy out, right? All your thoughts and your creativity, and be able to download it into himself on some bugged out shit. That's how wicked this devil is, man. Okay, this is Proverbs 1:31. It says, therefore, all right, shall they eat the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. And that's going for you 2/3, man. That's going for you niggas that don't want to take heed to the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, because you have constantly erred away from the truth. You have basically, you know, given the shoulder to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So you despise this wisdom. So what's going to happen is that, therefore, you're going to eat the fruit of their own way. Okay, and they're going to be filled with their own devices. So because you thought that this society was your God, you thought that Esau was your God, and you put your trust in the shadow of Egypt, it's going to be your confusion. So you're going to end up taking the confused devices that they created, you see, because you wanted to put out that that's your God, that's your power. Okay, let's grab this one. These two, and then I'll go back to breaking that down. All right, so this is Proverbs 19:21. There are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, that shall stand. You see, so they can have all these devices, all this science, all they want. You see, but the creator of all things, they even gave you the creativity to accomplish these things. All right, his counsel is going to stand. His prophecy is going to stand. All right. Isaiah 32:7, the instruments also of the churl are evil. He deviseth wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right. Yeah, and see, that's how they're gonna suck you in as that angler when they're fishing, okay, with lying words. This is why we tell you not to trust thine enemy, because like iron rusted so is his wickedness, man. You see, so he has his ways of getting at you, and he gonna suck you right into it. Okay, why? Because you're not grounded and rooted with Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. All right, so let's go back to that word grapho. All right, grapho goes into the main one being to commit to writing things not to be forgotten. Write down and record. Used of those which stand written in the sacred books of the Old Testament. It says to write to one example by writing in written epistles to give information and directions. You see, so you're able to receive data, and they're also able to take data. So you're able to receive, and they're able to give you data when they feel like it. They're gonna be able to upload you and hack into your thoughts and your mind whenever they feel like it. Going back to what I just said, this devil's so wicked that he want to take out all your creativity, all your thoughts, all right, and be able to download it into himself. All right. Directions. That's why you're going to be used as a GPS. You see, they're going to be able to pinpoint your location wherever you go. There's going to be no more privacy. No more. There barely is any privacy now. You see, but there's going to be ultimately no privacy. All right. And there's going to be no way for you to ever, hide from this devil. You see, the same way that you can't hide from the Lord. Man, it goes so deep. He want to be the Lord so bad that you can't hide your thoughts from the Lord, even your deepest thoughts. You see, matter of fact, that's spiritual. Let's go to this is comparing, YAHAWAH'S to Esau, how he wants to be like him. All right, this is 2nd Ezra 15, so like 16 and 48. This is the same mentality he got, right? Not 48, my bad. 54. Behold, the Lord YAHAWAH knoweth all the works of men, their imaginations, their thoughts, and their hearts. You see? So this is the same thing he wants to be able to do. Which spake but the word, let the earth be made, and it was made. Let the heaven be made, and it was created. That's what he wants to do. Does he not have this Genesis mission where he wants to rewrite and create man in his image, right? It says, in his word were the stars made. He knoweth the number of them. He searcheth the deep and the treasures thereof. He has measured the sea and what it containeth. And this is what the Lord has done and created. But see, he wants to be able to have the pride to have the, what's the word I'm looking for? He wants you to think that he created these things. Okay. It says he spread out the heavens like a vault, upon the waters has he founded it. And this is all talk about YAHAWAH. In the desert, he has made springs of water and pools upon the tops of the mountains, that the floods might pour down from the high rocks to water the earth. He made man and put his heart, meaning his mind, in the midst of the body. So now he wants to be able to create man and put his mind in the midst of the body. You see? He wants to be able to do it through technology, through pseudoscience. You see, to make you believe that science is the way and that there is no God. Okay. So it says, he made man and he put his heart in the midst of the body and gave him breath, life, and understanding. And this is what this devil wants to do. He wants to create you, put his understanding, his life into your brain, his breath of understanding, right? Yeah, the spirit of the almighty power, which made all things and searcheth out all hidden things in the secrets of the earth. There you go. This is why he want to tap into your thoughts, because he wants to be able to find even the hidden things that are in your mind. You know, the one thing that Esau can't do right now is he can see what our pattern is. He can see how we maneuver in life, right? But he don't know what we truly thinking in our brains, man. So that's why he ultimately want to be able to get into that. Surely he knoweth your inventions and what you think in your hearts, even them that sin and would hide their sin. So he knoweth our inventions and what we think in our hearts, right? YAHAWAH know these things, but now he wants to be able to do that. You see? It says, therefore has the Lord YAHAWAH exactly searched out all your works. Okay, that's what he wants to do. He wants to search out all your works now. Okay, and he will put you all to shame. Okay, yeah, and to the point where if you don't follow in his manner, in his way, in his system, in his image, all right. Esau, I did a video on that like about 2 weeks ago. Now he gonna put you to shame by putting you, okay, showing you on with their technology that your credit score and this credit score system is low. you look like shit because you're going into this platform and that platform, and you're doing not what you're not supposed to be doing. So now we'll put you on the system where everybody can see you and be able to be like, okay, this guy did this wrong, this guy did that wrong. See, he wants to put you to shame also, okay? Because the Lord put his ass to shame since day one, because he done lost his birthright. You see, man, it go deep as hell when you think about it, man. And when your sins are brought forth, and ye shall be ashamed before men, your sins, your own sins shall be your accusers in that day. Okay. What will ye do, or how will you hide your sins before Yahweh and his angels? You see, and basically it's going to be to the same thing. How you going to be able to hide, okay, your thoughts? How you going to be hide the things, your deepest secrets from Esau when he got you connected to the system, when he got you tapped in, you see, linked, okay, to his system to be able to find out every single thing that you got in your mind, right? Let me see. And that's pretty much the point on that. Let me just make sure I didn't. Yeah, that's pretty much the point. So at the end of the day, hey man, it's spiritual, man, what this devil's trying to do. All right. So let's go back to Grapho and finish it up. It says D, to write to one example by writing in a written epistle to give information, directions, to fill with writing, to draw up in writing and compose. You see, so now he's going to be able to compose, right? Whatever he wants into your brain, right into your brain, upload. Let's not even say write. He's going to be able to upload. That's what that movie, Matrix is about. You see how they took Neo and they plugged his ass up, and they were uploading him how to fight kung fu, him how to fight, how to drive a plane, how to do this. You see, so he's able to upload the information that he wants to fashion his people, right? His system and his transhumanism cyborgs to fashion them to his like, to his pleasure, to his image. Okay. And yeah, that was the last one. All right. It says Strong's definition to grave, especially to write, to describe writing. And you get the point, man. You get the drift. Okay. So, hey, that's pretty much the point, man. This devil's on a whole nother level on how he trying to bring all this technology and merge man to technology. It goes deep of what he really wants out of it. That these people can't see that. See, these people think as, oh shit, man, this technology is fire. I'm able to do this. I'm able to do that. I'm able to, become one with the internet, one with computers. But fuck that. This devil has an agenda, man. He has a certain, you remember, he has things, the way he thinks, most of these people not hit to how the wicked thinks of what his agenda is. As a matter of fact, let me grab that real quick. This is and I ended on this. All right, this is Ecclesiasticus 10 and let me select it 12. Let's take it from this is why you're not you can't be ignorant to Satan's devices, man. All right, because there's a deeper meaning behind it. All right, it is literally to try to snatch your mind and your soul out of there, which you can't do that anyway. But he trying to play the role of the Lord. All right, but let's just take it from 12. Right, set him not by thee, lest when he has overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he take thy seat. Lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at that last remember my words and be pricked therewith. All right. And see, so the Lord telling you, man, don't let this devil get close to you, because
you're not going to be able to understand what this devil's agenda is, man. Only those that have the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua are able to be that discerner in the intents of the mind, man. Because this word that we have, so we're able to, you know, tap into Esau's thoughts before he can even tap into ours. You see, that's the spirit of the Lord that He given us, you know, this word to be able to tap into His thoughts while He's trying to come out with a device to tap into our thoughts. You see, but we're without a device, we can tap into this devil's thoughts and how he thinks by just having the word of the Lord, right? And it says, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or such as come nigh wild beasts? All right, so yeah, we're not gonna pity you when your ass end up taking, you know, following in the ways of these heathens, man, following after the devices that we told you not to be ignorant to, man. Because when it happens, then you're gonna realize that what this devil was really about. And people starting to see his horns now, you see. But it's gonna get worse when that system is set in complete motion, okay? Which we're about to find out in 2026. 2026 is about to be wild as hell with these systems, man. Okay, so it says, so one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? For a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. You see, and that's what he's doing. He tarry, and in the beginning, he's abiding with you because he wants something out of it. You see, he trying to supplant you the same way Jacob supplanted him. You see, the same way he sold his soul and realized he fucked up. Now this is what he trying to do. He trying to make you give up your soul to him. You see, it's always a deeper meaning to what this devil's trying to do. All right. It says, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. And this whole thing about, you know, convenience, and this is going to be convenient for you, and this system is going to be the greatest system ever. It's going to bring peace and safety. That's the okie doke speech, man. You see, that's what's going to lead you to your shame and confusion, your destruction. You see, by listening to this damn devil when he's nobody. The scriptures say, if a man think he's somebody, he deceiveth himself, because he ain't shit. All right. So how much more this damn devil that's the scum of the earth, the base of all men? You see, this devil ain't nobody. He only in power, all right, because the Lord put him in power. Let's grab that real quick. This is Isaiah 31 and 3. Now the Egyptians are men and not Yahweh, okay? And their horses flesh and not spirit. So horses represent power, man. So these Egyptians are men. They're not God. It says, now the Egyptians are men and not God. All right. So they're not Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And their horses are flesh, meaning their power is just fleshly power and not the spirit. When the Lord has stretched out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they shall all fail together. You see? So at the end of the day, all right, like the scriptures tell you in what's that, Psalms, the 20th chapter, all right, it says, some put their trust in chariots, others in horses. All right, but we will put our trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. So they can trust in all these damn, you know, power, all this power of society, okay? But none of that shit is compared to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, because the Lord is what controls them, you see? So let's finish it up in Ecclesiastes 12 and 17. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. He will shake his head, clap his hands, whisper much, and change his countenance. Yep, because eventually he has an agenda behind all of that. So he gonna shake his hand, he gonna shake his head, he gonna clap his hands, turn himself around, do the hokey pokey and all that shit. All right. But at the end of the day, He's got one agenda, is to snatch your soul and make you sin before your maker. You see, he wants to tap into your body, all right, to be able to have the power of calling himself God, calling himself above Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. And see, that's why the Lord gonna take this nigga and disintegrate his ass, man. He gonna eradicate his ass from the planet Earth. You gonna serve 1,000 years of hardcore labor, okay, hardcore slavery that's gonna feel like 10,000 years, okay. And then when your ass is done, okay, the Lord you gonna be the only race that is eradicated, the only nation that's gonna be eradicated off the planet Earth, never to be heard of again because of shit like this, man. Because the pride of thine heart has deceived you, you see. So, and we can't wait for that day, man, because it's very well that the Lord said what? Matter of fact, it's in two chapters over. Let me grab it and end it with that. The physician cutteth off a long disease. You see, you've been a fucking disease for a long time, going all the way back to the garden, bro. You have been a disease to this planet, you know, and you have destroyed everything that has come in your way. All right. But hey, that's how the Lord set it up. He set it up to be for you to be the vessels fit for you've been the vessel that's been created, all right, for destruction. Okay. You were fit to be made that vessel of dishonor. Okay. Literally. And that's why the Lord said, I love Jacob, but I hated Esau. He even hated that he created your ass. All right. How much more if he hated that he had created man, you know, to begin with? Well, like it tells you in Genesis, the 4th chapter, they had repented the Lord that he had made man because their thoughts were continual evil, man. So how much more your ass that you're not even the chosen of the Lord, man? You see? So, you know, he gonna eradicate you to another level, bro, to the point where you're never gonna be able to breathe again. You're not even gonna have a brain anymore. You're not gonna be nobody. You're gonna be fucking dust, dirt, and we're gonna step all over you for the remaining days of our lives in eternity, man. You see? Because that's what happens when you're done. When you die, you go back to the ground, bro. You see? From where you were created from. So you're gonna be stepped on, all right, for the rest of your days when the Lord eradicates your ass, because we're gonna step on earth, man, all day long. You see? But hey, that's pretty much the point. So hey, Lord willing that the lesson was edifying. With that being said, Barakatah Yahawah, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Elohim La Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad, the Akim and the Akwat that was listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson was edifying. To the next one, Shalom. Keep fighting the good fight of faith, enduring as good soldiers of Yahweh Shai. You sisters continue to learn in silence, watching the true man in the Lord, and keep your faith up. We're almost up out of here. Abba Ball. Shalom.